Hi guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we're gonna talk about the hinge system of BenchDogs UK. So I was doing that other video last time and I was thinking, well, I have an MFT top and this thing should work without an MFT top. So without all those BenchDog holes, 20mm holes. I came up with a template. This is just a simple version, maybe you can't see it. And what it actually is, it is center to center, so that's 69mm, and it has a small square in it, so it's drawn in AutoCAD. So this is square, so if you drill those holes good enough, then you can line them up with a level or it's just a long straight edge, and then you're able to install your fence on with those two holes. And this is for your hinge, and those holes here on top, I made those so you can line with a straight edge these dog holes up towards the other side of the hinge. It all makes sense in the video, so it should work. Let's go. Imagination here. Imagine that this is your workbench. So basically it can be everything, solid wood, plywood, whatever you're using for your workbench, as long as you can drill in it. I have an MFT top, so forget about this one and let's focus on this one. We're gonna install the hinge and we need a couple of items for that. I'm gonna use my template, and if this works, BenchDogs maybe will put it on the website so you can download it for free, and yeah, you can install this thing to your workbench. So the things that we are going to use is a straight edge, and in this video I'm going to use a level, the hinge system obviously, and a couple of BenchDogs. And those BenchDogs are in one line, and I will explain later in the video why they need to be like this. It all makes sense. So we are going to take this template. It's an A4, and those are 20mm circles, and we're gonna line this up on our workbench. It doesn't really matter if your workbench doesn't have a straight edge. The only thing what matters is you're gonna glue this temporarily on your workbench, and this is going to be square. So this angle here is 90 degrees exactly drawn out. So we're gonna glue this on, drill those holes, and then put BenchDogs in these holes, and then use our level straight edge to line them up against those BenchDogs, mark them off on the other side, mark them off on, we're gonna do the same thing here, mark them off on the other side, and then it should be 90 without adjusting your hinge with this adjustable slot. Should be. So as I said, I'm gonna put this on here so it can't move when I am marking off my center holes in the middle. So like this. So now this can move, and I'm using this pincher for marking off my center point of the circle. So what it does, you just pinch it and it gives it a nice center point for your drill bit. So let's start marking off exactly in the middle. You need to be really accurate in this. That one. Okay, so they're all marked off now. We're gonna take this off. And now it's time to start drilling some holes. So for this video I'm going to use this drill, and what you want is a drill with a center point. And I'm going to use a hand drill, cordless hand drill for this. the best way is to get one of these for your plunge router. That makes it super easy to get them 90 degrees downwards, but I don't have this bit at the moment for my plunge router, so I'm gonna do it with my cordless hand drill and trying to keep it as square as possible. Well, meanwhile I'm drilling downwards. You can use your square, any square, keep it along your cordless drill and trying to keep it as square as possible. It's not 100% accurate, but it does the job. So this is what we have now. So the reason that I have those two holes more that way is when you use bench dogs or a fan system and you're pushing your material against it, this plate here doesn't interfere that, so it stays behind those. So we have all these, and now what we want to do, we want to have those holes for our front part from our hinge system on the other side. So why I did those two, that allows you with those holes, with those dogs that are just in one line, and I will explain you. So if you got bench dogs that are slightly thicker than the actually hole, it isn't a bad thing, but then what you want, if you have this in here, then you have to measure back on the other side, which I will going to show you in a minute. You have to measure back the center point. So if you got those, you can order those also on BenchdogsUK. Those are just in one line, and then put it in your holes that you just drilled, and then get a straight edge. So in this case I use a level. Push it hard against your two dogs here. Mark off on the other side a line. Then we're gonna do the same thing with those two, and then I'm gonna mark off the line on the other side. So there's the back side, here's the front side. So here we have two lines, and those lines are the outside of our bench dogs, like here and on the other side. Then you take your other side of your hinge and locate where you want to have it. If you want to bring it more out, gain more space on your top, bring it more in, so you have more clearness here. I'm gonna take a little bit in the middle, just do a line roughly, and just grab a square, a flat square. In this case, it's my math square, which I never use. And then square up that line against that line. Do the same thing here. So this is square, and then we're gonna measure back 10 millimeters, because that's the center line of our quad dogs. So those one have the same diameter, 20 mil. So we're gonna measure back 10 mil. We're gonna measure back 10 mil. We're gonna drill those holes, and then this should fit and should be square with the back side. Alright, so we drilled all the holes, and now we're gonna find out if we can make it square with just a paper template. If not, you're still able to make it square with a slot, but it should be really nice if this works. Let's find out. We're gonna install the front part first. Alright. So let's add a fence. Okay, so both fans are installed, falls in a notch. Let's check out if that corner is square. So thickness gauge, and then I'm gonna bring this up so it sits along. Yeah, it's like a 0.15 out. Here it's against it, here and there, and here it's like left. So we're out. So now I'm gonna take this alignment point here and then just bring it along, bring it in. Alignment pin is an alignment slot, which I will show you in a minute. And then you're gonna take your square, push it against your fence or dogs, anything, and then you are able to bring your track in or out, depending on how it's out of squareness. So in this case, let's go for a real fine one, 0.8. So yeah, it's against those dogs really hard. So it's slightly out. This works super. So all the way through, against that. So now it's dead on square. You have to tie this up, take it off carefully, get your hex key, okay. Super tight, all back in the slot, push it against your fence. Let's do the golden test. It's a 0.10. Bang on square. So I'm gonna show you the footage now with a couple of close-ups, and I'm gonna show you from close up how square this is. But for now, it's good. We will go through that adjustment and I will go show you some close-up of how you do that. But before that, I'm gonna install my fence here, so I have a bigger square angle here. And yeah, that is actually how I like to use my bench. So same way here, just take out these bench dogs and take your straight dogs, put them in here, and then if you don't have a strong straight edge or a level, you can use your back side of your track too. So you can use this side of your track that should be perfectly in line. So I'm going to push those in as much as possible, and then I'm going to really have it touching both dogs like that, and then I'm gonna mark off a dog hole here, so here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm marking off 10 mil in, and this one doesn't really matter where it comes, because you can adjust your fence dogs on the back side of the fence system. So I'm gonna drill a hole here, So I'm using this fence. This is the MK2 fence from BenchDogs. And as you can see, you can adjust it. This one isn't adjusted yet on my MFT top because for the last video I changed it. So yeah, here, plunge it in, plunge this in, and then you can do your adjustment on the measurement, which I will probably show you later in a different video, how you can adjust your MK2 fence against your edge here. But now we have the actually setup of an MFT table. Well, let's do the same thing which I did on the other video. I'm gonna take this big square, line it up against my fence, and just bring it, this isn't the pin yet, and bring it against my pin here, my track. So bring this square towards my track. And as you can see, this is out of squareness, so probably that isn't square, that dog hole there came in a little bit. So then what I do, I'm gonna take this hex key and I'm gonna unscrew this, oh, too big. I'm gonna unscrew this pin here, because this pin at the moment is in that slot so you can move it. So bring it in your track like that, go back to your square, and then just with a little bit of force again with this square against the fence, bring it in, so gently touch it, and this should be good. So be careful now, and then tighten your alignment pin up like that, and then when you did that, move it a little bit. Alright, then bring your square with a little bit of force that way back in. And now let's take the 0.10 mil. Square. Easy as that. So to keep in mind, this pin, you still have to tighten it up a little bit more. Alright, easy peasy, that's it. Well, that's it, guys. You can set this system up basically on any workbench. So I use this piece of plywood, but it can be solid wood, it can be everything. Yeah, I want to go through a couple of things that I will do differently than what I did in this video. I did it with a cordless hand drill, and to be honest, I would go for a decent router bit with a center point that allows you to get 90 degrees downwards. I noticed on my fence that they're slightly out of squareness, and that makes it really hard to adjust it. So get a router bit for your plunge router, or use a portable drill press for your cordless drill. Yeah, the template works well. It didn't help me to get it straight away square with the alignment pinholes that are already in there. So, but the benefit of using this template is the actually center points of the hinge system. Yeah, that helps really well. So I would use the template, but I would keep in mind that you probably need to adjust it a little bit with the adjustment pin, but that is totally fine. The other thing is, what you need to consider is you don't want to have a lot of overhang on your track on the side there's where the adjustment pin is, because when you bump into that, you're probably gonna get a thing out of squareness. But it will be easier anyway to have a sacrificial track that is just long enough for your bench. Yeah, that will be the best thing. Probably I will gonna do that with this one and buy a new one. The other thing is, if you buy a router bit, and router bits are slightly bigger, I noticed, BenchDogs provide those quad dog fence dogs, so they expand when you tighten them up. So yeah, they can help if your slots are too big. These things can still be really hard to get in, and so yeah, before you put your fence in there, you just tighten these things a little bit up by hand and then put it in just enough so it's tight enough, and then you have to do it only once. I highly recommend, if your holes are too big, just get one of these, a pair of these, and they will really help. Alright, this was my video, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like the products, go check them out on BenchdogsUK.co. And if you want 5% discount, use the code DC007. It's in the description below. And yeah, again, if you got any questions, let them know in the comment, and see you in the next one.